Hello, Akash. How are you today?
Good evening. Doing fantastic. How are you today?
I'm doing great. Great to have you. Welcome to this live interview. So my first question to you is, how did you become a teacher?
It comes to me a lot because my name is Akash Patel and it's an Indian name. So people ask me all the time, hey, how are you a Spanish teacher? Because not very many people in India speak Spanish. So Spanish came to me 7 years ago when I was just a sophomore in college trying to become an elementary teacher and get certified to become a high school mathematics teacher. So I did both of that. I became a teacher, got certified in both of those areas. And then Spanish came towards the end, but it came because of what happened to me while I was in college. I took a trip to the Dominican Republic in 2001, and I just didn't want to go like a traditional young person and go to spring break and celebrate like most people do. I
Yeah.
wanted to make a difference in someone's life. So I was like, I don't speak a word of Spanish. Why would somebody give me a job or an internship when I don't speak the language? So I, like most of our language learners do, use Google Translate to write a letter to asking Dominican people that looked like professionals on Facebook. So I messaged 50 random people on Facebook asking them if they could give me a job or an internship. Nobody responded except for one person, the chief of staff of the first lady of the Dominican Republic. He wrote to me, Mr. Patel, do you realize the message that you sent is grammatically incorrect? So I said, of course I do, because I use Google Translate. So then he's like, I really admire your passion and your perseverance, and I have a job for you. I want you to come to my country and teach our young people about India because we have very limited knowledge about the countries. So I want you to come down here and teach them about India. So I sure did. They paid me less than $300 for the whole month. And I had a blast the whole month with an interpreter who actually interpreted for me while I taught Dominican kids about India. I never met the first lady on this trip. But 6 years later, I was a Spanish teacher in Dallas, Texas. I finally got certified. I took the exam and passed it. And then in in my first year of teaching Spanish, I was selected as a top 50 finalist for the $1 million Global Teacher Prize. And they flew me from Dallas to Dubai to meet heads of state, Bollywood and Hollywood actors and actresses. And interesting enough, in a place like Dubai, under a palm tree where I was sipping a drink, I ran into two Secret Service agents, and they were Caribbean Secret Service agents talking in Dominican Spanish. Hola, ¿cómo tú estás? ¿Qué lo sé? And I was like, wow, what are Dominicans doing in Dubai? So he turns around and I turn around and I look at him and I say, ¿Cómo tú estás, mi mano? And he says, what are you doing here? And how can he speak Dominican Spanish? So I told him I learned my Spanish back with the first lady in 2001. And the Secret Service agents told me that the first lady is now the vice president and she happens to be in Dubai. Now, I didn't win the $1 million, but let me tell you that I got to meet her in Dubai and she gave me a hug in front of all those people and she posted about me on Instagram saying that this guy is not an American pride, but he is a Dominican pride. So my story was something that just came to me very naturally. And I'm still in awe of how I learned Spanish and ended up becoming a Spanish teacher because that was never in the books, never in the plans as a child either, because I always wanted to be a pilot or an engineer. And now I'm a Spanish teacher.
Wow, I had no idea. I had no idea. That's a great story. Um, so you started teaching in Oklahoma, right?
Yeah,
And now you're in Dallas. Okay, so you go to Dubai. You're one of the selected contestants. How did the Happy World Foundation come about?
absolutely. It came about in Oklahoma. So in Oklahoma, we started something called World Experiences because I only taught for 1 year in Oklahoma before I moved to Texas. While I was teaching in Oklahoma, I went to a very small school in Oklahoma, in central Oklahoma, called University of Science and Arts of Oklahoma. So I got to student teach in small towns of less than 200 people. People had never seen someone like me. the children would be amazed. They're like, who is this? And what is he going to teach us? So I realized that my job was to not just teach these children reading and mathematics and the standards as required by the law. I was just a fourth grade teacher then. I was not yet certified to become a Spanish teacher. So while I was teaching them, I realized that these kids need world experiences. What do I do to bring these experiences to the classroom? So we created a program where I started video calling, just like I'm video calling you, hundreds of my friends from different countries around the world on Facebook. And then I realized that my classroom of 40 kids, 20 and 20 in each classroom, do not need 500 people to video call them every week, because that's a small classroom that does not need access to so many. So I was like, what if I share this opportunity with other teachers in the community? So that's when we created the Global Connect database. A Global Connect is one of our most popular programs at the Happy World Foundation. And now it has a database of over 1,000 volunteers from over 150 countries around the world that actively video call children from all 50 states of the United States. So that program came out of a gap that I observed as a student teacher in rural Oklahoma. And then I moved to Texas. The reason why the nonprofit's called Happy World is because last year, after I came back as a finalist for the Global Teacher Prize to Dallas in April, my twin brother named Happy, he passed away to a plane crash. And when he passed away to a plane crash, we started thinking about his legacy. What do we do to honor my brother's legacy? So his name was Happy, or Anand in Hindi. So Happy brought happiness to others. And through the work that I get to do with children, teaching them different languages or connecting them with people in other countries, our ultimate goal is that we live in a happy world, free of prejudice and bigotry. So that's why the name Happy World Foundation. So it's named after my twin brother to honor his memory.
Okay, well, I had no idea the world, I mean, the name Happy World made a lot of sense in the context of what you were doing, but I didn't realize that there was a deeper meaning to the name of your foundation.
Absolutely. And these glasses too. So our logo, they have these glasses on them, a world with the glasses. These are the happy glasses. I call them the happy glasses because my brother had 50 sets of these glasses. He would always pop the lenses out of them because he thought that was cool. So we put the glasses on the logo in the memory of my twin brother, because that's what we want, happiness for children in classrooms across America. So if you go to our Twitter handle, or if you go to our Instagram or Facebook page, on a weekly basis, you will see tons of stories of humans connecting with children in classrooms across America, whether it's from Francophone countries or Spanish-speaking countries. So that can dive us into some of our conversation about how your teachers and your audience can also be part of this movement of global citizenship and action civics in their classrooms.
So before we get into the mechanics of using your product, I'm curious, who is involved? Do you have partners? Do you have people
Absolutely.
with you?
So people ask me all the time, they're like, Akash, how do you sustain this organization? And all these people are doing these things for free. For free. I have to emphasize it, that these 1,000 people talk to classrooms in communities across America for free. And I tell people that these are a group of John Lennons who believe in a world without borders, who are warriors for global citizenship, and they believe in the power of simple connections like these to end bigotry and prejudice from our planet. Now, we have to sustain our nonprofit financially. If we are doing this all for free and our volunteers are doing it for free, we host an annual event in partnership with many organizations like the United Nations Academic Impact, Tribal Nations, NBA. We've had partners and sponsors from wide-ranging communities. So our gala is called the Global Citizen Awards Gala. So last year, the gala was chaired by the president of ACTFL and Congresswoman Eddie Bernice Johnson of Dallas, Texas. We
Okay.
raised over $100,000 in scholarships for study abroad to sustain some of the programs that are nonprofit. So we have no paid members at the nonprofit. All our board members and staff members work for free for the organization, despite the amounts of money we fundraise, because we believe that it all has to ultimately go back to the children. So they have opportunities to experience this beautiful and a happy world. So yes, we have partners. The program that sustains our nonprofit is our annual Global Citizen Gala, which last year was hosted in downtown Dallas. This year will be hosted at America's third largest tribal nation's headquarters. So it's the Choctaw Nation. The Choctaw Nation will host us at their headquarters in Choctaw, Oklahoma, which is less than an hour away from Dallas, Texas.
Okay. Um, I should have asked you this question sooner, but when did you start the
Well,
happy?
we started the movement in 2014
Okay.
when I was a student teacher.
Okay.
But Happy World came about just last year, even though we've been doing this for years as a volunteer. But Happy World came about when my twin brother passed away. So the
Okay.
nonprofit and the name came about last year in April of 2018 when my brother passed away.
Okay. Okay. So, so going back to how teachers can use your foundation. Let's say I'm a French teacher and I want to connect with my classroom with somebody who speaks French somewhere in the world. What do I do?
It's extremely easy, Advij. Just like I added you and called you, that's what you have to do. So I'm going to share my screen, and I want your teachers and viewers to see this for just 20 to 30 minutes of their time, because this will literally transform your classroom experience. And I'm
Okay.
going to give you an example. Since you mentioned you're a French teacher, just last week, Heidi Trude, your friend and Flava
Yes.
president,
Yes.
she connected with somebody from Francophone countries, from Algeria and from France. This person is a dual national of Algeria and France. And all you have to do, we have a database full of speakers from different countries. We tell teachers all the time that, hey, all of this sounds like a great story, but how do you make this happen? Go on our website and simply contact us through the contact us link, or send us an email. Send us your schedule and tell us when are likely times when you could host someone. Now, we don't put up our database of 1,000 people and their personal contact information on the World Wide Web, of course, for privacy concerns. Hacking, somebody could take over all the contacts and spam these people. So what we expect teachers to do, and that's why I'm going to share my screen right now. So here we go. I'm about to share my screen, and I hope you can see my screen, Edwige, and let me know if you can't.
I can. That's
All right,
okay.
so there's our website,
Okay.
happyworldfoundation.us. So please don't go anywhere else, otherwise it'll take you to different places. Go to happyworldfoundation.us and you go under programs. Now, Global Connect is just one of our multiple programs that we offer at Happy World Foundation. So here's our Global Citizen Gala with Lisa Ritter, the president. We have other programs and resources and lessons. So here's our Global Connect program. To learn more about the program, teachers have to have either a Skype account, a Google Hangout account, or a Facebook video calling account, which means they could have a Facebook account. Anything their district allows, as long as they have these 3 accounts. Edwige, you would contact us through this contact us form. In less than 24 hours, we respond to you and we connect you with 3 to 4 potential volunteers for the following week. Now, each week, we are connecting over 200 teachers from 200 different regions of America and scheduling these calls. So as long as the teacher contacts us through this contact us form, and many of our teachers become regulars. So once we know their schedule and we know they're willing to do this and willing to participate in it, they become our regulars. So if you go right there on the contact form, give us some information about your class and tell us what you can use at your school, Google Hangouts, Skype, or Facebook, we will connect you instantly. And then you simply add that person and call them. And all these people are properly vetted. Now, let me tell you, we've been doing this for 6 years. So if you go to our Facebook page, or if you go to my personal Facebook page, you will see an album with more than 2,000 pictures of 2,000 calls in classrooms across America. Not once have we had anything inappropriate said by our speakers. usually what happens is, because we work with middle school and high school students, the students end up saying something that they shouldn't have said. So even to prepare the teachers for something like that, on our website and through our email and contact information, every time we connect you, we give you sample questions that our French teachers created or our Spanish teachers created that you can use to facilitate the mystery hangout. So most of our teachers and our ambassadors at the foundation, they like to call the person and not tell the students where the person is from. So let's say you were talking to somebody from Algeria. Your students would not know the person's from Algeria. They would have to come up with this list of 25 questions in French that they would ask to solve the mystery of the person on the other side. And then they could participate the next 10, 15 minutes in authentic conversations about the theme of the week. So let's say the theme is fashion and clothing. Students could participate with the speaker and ask the speaker, hey, what is your shoe size? Or what size of shirt do you wear? So to allow them the ability to practice their target language and theme for the week. So all these calls, again, are 100% free. You can go to our Global Connect program, look up some information there, and go to our contact information. All you have to do is contact us, send us your schedule, and tell us what platform you can use. That's how easy it is to getting started to connect with people around the globe.
That's fantastic. All right. Well, my last question is about the future of your organization. What are you going to do next? Are you trying to grow the number of calls, or do you have plans that you can share with us?
I would love to share the plans because I get this question a lot. They look at some of our posts, the viral posts on social media, and people ask us, Akash, why are you doing this? Are you trying to, make any money out of this? And I'm like, no, I started this in rural Oklahoma simply to fill a gap. And we will continue to do that. And as long as this nonprofit exists, we will continue to offer this program to people around the United States for free. What we are trying to develop now is a secure database where teachers can log in and access all of these contacts, because scheduling can become incredibly difficult for a group of volunteers on a weekly basis. So right now we are working with our partners. Some software developers and engineers who can find a very simple platform that all teachers would have to do is log into it and access all of the contacts. Now we can trust our teachers to have access to that, but we cannot post it on something like this on our website because that's a lot of sensitive and private information to people.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So our long-term goals are to grow this organization in all 50 states, to do what we've been able to accomplish in a lot of classrooms and multiply it in classrooms. So any of your viewers, right now we have the ability, every week we have over 1,000 people that we could dig into and require these. Now, these 1,000 people, they don't just make one call. A lot of our volunteers participate in 5 or 6 calls per week because a lot of them are college students. A lot of them are part-time working professionals and they want to do more. So we want more teachers who are willing to innovate, who are willing to take the risk and see what other people have been able to do, get inspired and get on the bandwagon and be like, hey, I too am going to do this and inspire somebody else. So that's the goal. And we hope to keep it 100% free as long as this nonprofit exists. And, just quickly, since I mentioned the First Lady of the Dominican Republic, I wanted to share that this is the First Lady when she and I met in Dubai. I had never met her, and then she wrote something about me, and I love reading that last line all the time. She says, él es un orgullo del mundo que se formó en nuestro país. So he's a world pride that was formed in the Dominican Republic. And that's our sincere hope for every child who participates in our Google Hangouts, that they don't just take this as a call with somebody to practice their language, that they take this to empathize, to learn empathy, and to turn that empathy into action civics. So you will be shocked at what a lot of our kids have been able to accomplish, and I could dig into it later on a different day, but our kids don't just take these calls, they empathize, and that empathy leads to less misbehavior in the classroom. That empathy leads to children brainstorming, oh, I'm privileged in America. What can I do to use this privilege to help children in the Equatorial Guinea, or to help children in Cameroon or in Cambodia or any other part of the world that we have the opportunity to connect with? So we are trying to form active global citizens in the classroom, apart from proficient individuals who can use our database to improve and better their language.
So I actually have another question, but before I ask, I see we have Maureen, we have Natalie. If you have a question that you would like to ask Akash, please unmute yourself and go ahead. I'm going to give you a moment to do that if you want to. But just wait a couple seconds. Jump in anytime. So here's my question. As you know, I work with a lot of language teachers, and I work with a lot of language teachers who teach at the high school level. And we talk about telecollaboration and this kind of exchanges all the time. And in some schools it works out, but in some schools there is so much resistance from the parents, from the department, from the administration. There is fear. It's definitely a fear-based resistance. So what can we tell, how can we help these teachers who want to do these exchanges but who are in environments where they're not allowed to? How can we help them make this happen?
You know, that's a solid question, because I get it a lot. And I want to share with you what today we got to accomplish in a small town of Kentucky. Now, this is 2 hours ago. So I just want to share this picture with you guys and what happened in a very small town that, according to the teacher, told me that is a very radically conservative town. So for them, the kids were so excited for their first Google Hangout. Now we get lots of resistance in many instances where teachers say, our school doesn't allow us to use Google Hangout, or our school doesn't allow us to use Skype or Facebook in the classroom. We have advocated with their principals, wow, with their, including all the way to going with the teacher and giving them tips on how to go to the school, show them the value of this experience. So this particular teacher, and I'm going to show this to you, connected with two people today. And this is from a small town. I'm going to have to try to get the name of the town. It is in, let me check. Harlan, Kentucky. So here we go. I'm going to put it up a little closer to the screen. It's Harlan, Kentucky. As you see, this is a group of kids. The teacher said the kids have never traveled outside of their state. So for them to go up here now and talk to somebody from Brazil and Peru, and this after gave them a live tour of a beach in the Dominican Republic. So this is a young man right here, Mr. Ismail from Dominican Republic. He's Dominicano. So that's a Spanish classroom, and he just gave them a tour of a beach resort. So the principal saw the value. What we did is we showed the principal, hey, look at these thousands of stories that we have made possible with credible sources, with incredible speakers who are full of passion and energy. Why wouldn't you want to try this in the classroom? And you know, a lot of times we get this resistance from people who could either be conservative or liberal. I tell people all the time that even if you're conservative, you need to believe in our program. Think about what it allows American children to do. It allows American children to be grateful for what they have in the United States. And most conservative people talk all about giving children opportunities to be grateful for the many freedoms they have in the United States. Yeah. What a better opportunity to give them these opportunities than to connect them using video calls with young people around the world so they can bring some joy and excitement to the classroom. So if any of your viewers feel like this is something they can do in the classroom, they need to reach out to us and we will advocate for them. We will reach out to the principal, and if we have to go to the school board down there to change a policy, like one particular school district in Arizona, where I gave the keynote address, the school district blocked Google Hangout from the entire school district. So we reached out to the district and we showed them, hey, look at the value. Districts around the country are doing this. And they turned it on for teachers. So now we have teachers using Google Hangout in the classroom and showing the administrators and the parents the educational value of this experience. So just today alone gives me many examples. I have another classroom in Durant, Oklahoma. Now, Durant, Oklahoma is in southern Oklahoma. The entire state of Oklahoma is expensive. And this is a rural community in the middle of nowhere. And this teacher, her name is Jeannie Hazel. She's taught for 31 years. And she sent me a text message. She said, Akash, I've taught for 3 decades, but I have never seen my kids as excited as I see them when they video call somebody to learn about their country and their culture. And
Yeah.
all the parents in the community now hug that woman and give her a high five saying that, hey, look at what you're bringing. My kids come home every day saying, today we spoke to somebody from Kyrgyzstan. Today we spoke to somebody from Germany, or today we spoke to somebody from France. So she's a primary teacher. Our programs are not limited to language teachers. We are more than willing to work with anybody who teaches in the public school systems or even the private schools or universities, because we connect university professors with folks in other countries to bring joy to their level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, or AP classes. So this program is open to any teacher, does not have to be a language teacher. So anybody who feels that this is something that they could doubt and do not believe in their ability to bring this change, reach out to us. We'll be happy to advocate for you, showing you stories of what we felt we couldn't accomplish, but now that we have been able to. So we have hope and optimism that every school and every classroom in America will be able to do this and provide these experiences because these children deserve them.
Great. Thank you. I don't know if you can see it, but we have one question in the chat from Natalie.
Absolutely. What is the question?
And so she would like to know whether the connection has always to be done by the teacher or whether high school students can connect on his or her own.
Oh, his or her own. We have not tried that. And again, remember, these are adult volunteers.
Yes.
So I'm not sure how comfortable I would be letting a minor child talk to an adult without adult supervision. Now, they're all background checked. There's no problem at all. Now, we do have a program where children don't just talk to adults. We have some programs, not for all languages, with classrooms in other countries.
Okay.
So yes, in that instance, like for example, right now with my middle school classroom, my students connected with a classroom in another country. They now follow each other on Instagram, and that's totally okay because these are minors following minors of their own age and communicating with them. So I'm okay with that, but I'm not sure about how leaving a high school student with one of our adults volunteers without supervision. But if the teacher's there and the teacher wants that one-on-one with one high school student and one of our volunteers, that's totally okay. We would love to help you with that. But if it's just the high school student and the adult, I would probably say no.
Okay.
But if it's another high school student in Colombia, France, Germany, anywhere, we could make that happen.
And then we have another question from Maureen about time zones. How do you handle time difference?
I love that question because I get this all the time. Hey, don't worry about time zones. Let's say you're a French teacher and you're most concerned that, hey, I want to talk to Francophone countries. Like, what is the West African country that speaks French, Edwige?
The best one? Algeria, Morocco, Cameroon.
And then Côte d'Ivoire, is that how you say it?
Ivory Coast, like Côte d'Ivoire.
So we recently had a volunteer from there. His name was Dominic. So Dominic spoke to us from, I cannot pronounce it. I'm sorry. I'm not good at French at all. So he is from Africa. Now the time zones, they don't work between the United States and here.
Yeah.
We have partnerships with the Fulbright program in the United States with some of the universities that host Fulbright scholars from other countries in America. So we have a whole bunch of French-speaking native heritage speakers right here in the United States. So if anybody says, oh, I don't think my program could work with somebody in Australia because my kids will be asleep, but in Australia we're trying to get a hold of them. But there are millions of international students, international adults, H-1B workers that work right here in the United States. And they're inspired by our program and want to do it. So if we ever cannot work it out where they can directly talk to somebody from Cameroon, let's say, we will find you a Cameroonian American or somebody from Cameroon who lives right here in the United States. But the kids would not know. The students would not know that the person lives in the United States because we're still trying to tell the students that this person's from Cameroon.
Natalie says, this is great. Thank you, Akash, for being a nonprofit. Most of us pay out of pocket for everything, as you know.
That's why we want to keep it simple because we never want to privatize this movement. It is to help people. And we would never exploit human capital, human potential and human capital right here that people are willing to offer to our organization because they believe in our mission and they believe in our vision. And that's why they do it consistently on a weekly basis. And that's why I want you to follow our Instagram feed. It's Happy World Inc. HappyWorldInc. Our Twitter handle we don't use as much, but it's Foundation Happy. Or our Facebook account is Happy World Foundation Inc. So if you look up just our Facebook and our Instagram, you will find other teachers. So if you still have a doubt you can't do this, I will connect you with other teachers who are actively doing this. Reach out to them, seek their help, and tell them, hey, what are the first steps and how did this work for you? Let me try doing this in my room too. So I hopefully I've at least recruited Natalie and Maureen to try this out. We have some volunteers that are available even this week. So if you have some classes, maybe tomorrow or on Friday, we can connect you so you can try this out and test it out in your classes. If not, we can certainly do it after the holidays.
You're gonna hear from Natalie. I'm pretty, and she just wrote, "You'll be hearing from me." I don't know about Maureen. I don't know Maureen, but Natalie is a certificate student, and she just finished a program, and she's just very good at exploiting whatever resources she can get for her students. So I think you have at least recruited one, and I'll share this tomorrow on our social media so that other people can hear about your foundation and the work you do, because I think it's fantastic. It's important. It's a great way to show the world to kids who and to kids who can't travel or can't travel right now. So it's fantastic. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your time, Advij, and we are always here in service for you guys. So that's what we are here for, to empower teachers and allow them to inspire other teachers to join the movement.
That's fantastic. Thank you.
So happy holidays to you guys. Y'all have a great rest of your evening. And thank you for your time and thank you for having me tonight.
Same to you.
Bye.
Bye.